Heffel is honored to bring 3 extraordinary masterworks to auction for the first time. It's from the University Club of Toronto, Lawren Harris, Northern Lake, Franklin Carmichael's Leaf Pattern, and Arthur Lismer's McGregor Bay Islands. One of the most prestigious private clubs in Canada, the University Club of Toronto, has housed these paintings in their collection for many decades. The club has been a distinguished institution in Canada, fostering cultural and artistic engagement. The neoclassical building on University Avenue is absolutely stunning. Joining us today is Thom. Thom is a very well-known Canadian art historian, curator.
Thank you, Robert. Well, you're extraordinarily lucky to see these 3 paintings, because each in their own way is in fact a masterpiece. I can remember going to see them in the University Club in Toronto and thinking, these are extraordinary pictures. I mean, these are pictures that you don't come across very easily. I mean, they all have amazing exhibition histories. There's a reason for that, because not only did they belong to people that were interested in exhibiting them, but also the artists were interested in having those pictures shown to wider audiences.
It's a monumental moment. I go back and I keep thinking about that this won the gold medal in Sesqui Exhibition 26. But in that show were other famous international artists, famous Canadian painters. Tom Thompson's West Wind was in that exhibition. Yes. And they picked the Harris.
Well, I mean, the Wembley exhibition was, of course, critical. The recognition of the group in any way internationally. And that's really what allowed them to become well-known in Canada. I mean, Canada's very famous for having people, become successful far away, and then you think, oh no, maybe this artist is worthwhile.
It's like the reviews were better internationally than they were.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because of course, when they showed internationally, they were showing the people in London things that they had never seen before.
And of course, Joan Murray calls this Carmichael's masterpiece.
And it really is an extraordinary picture. I mean, the fact that he's on the verge of abstraction in this painting is really remarkable. I mean, one of the fascinating things to me is just taking the example of the trunks of the trees. You notice how not a single one of the trunks of these trees is the same color all the way through? Yeah. He varies the color, and I mean, he does this for a reason, to allow your eye to sort of see things in a different way. The other thing, of course, is he's very, very direct in defining essentially no ground for you to stand upon. You have to sort of throw yourself completely into the painting. And there's only one little area of escape in the background, so your whole attention comes to this extraordinary range of different colored leaves and the tree trunks. And this degree of definition in the tree trunks allows him to portray the leaves without specific definition. I mean, it gives you something for your mind to sort of hang its attention on, and then you read these as leaves in the fall. This Harris is a remarkable painting because, of course, there's this extraordinary contrast between the brilliance of the sky and the darkness of the hills and the treed landscape, and the wonderful sense of reflections of trees reflecting in the lake, which allows you to sort of move into the composition. It's an extraordinary picture.
There's so many interesting things we could talk about, but another thing about the Lawren Harris canvas, and all 3 have early frames, but the Harris canvas is in the original Boughton frame.
Yes, exactly.
And the frames, it's part of its history.
You essentially have a little bit more of an introductory element in terms of the rocks in the foreground. Unlike the Carmichael, where you're sort of basically forced right into the landscape, is something that's really quite striking. But the other thing that's fascinating to me is look at the wonderful sort of surface that these beaches form, and the way they sort of interlock with each other, and of course the reflection of the trees in the lake. It's a painting that requires you to spend some time with it.
Yeah.
But when you do, you're richly rewarded.
You know, the club was a great custodian of the paintings, and they did lend them to lots of museum exhibitions. And Lawren Harris was a member of the club. They have a very good collection of Group 7.
Seeing this Lismer shows just what a subtle and remarkably gifted man he was. I mean, look at the variety of ways, for example, he depicts trees in this composition. You have very bent over trees in the foreground. There's one evergreen which is struggling against the wind in the landscape, and then a little rock in there, and then there's the trees on the far shore. But the other thing that, of course, is remarkable here is the way he convincingly suggests to you that the sun is flooding across all of the landscape by picking up brighter elements on the surface of this rock there, and there. And then, of course, there's the brilliance of the sky in the background. I mean, it's a painting that the more you look at it, the more you see. And that's something that marks a great picture. You never get tired of looking at it. I think that these paintings were, for many years, in the University Club of Toronto. And I'm sure there were many of the members who looked at them again and again and again and saw different things each time. That is the mark of an artist who's truly inspired by his subject matter and is able to convey that, completely within the finished paintings. I mean, there's no museum in this country that wouldn't be happy to have.
These are truly, that word can be overused sometimes. These are truly museum quality paintings, and they would hang in a very proud location in any museum in the country. And quite frankly, they could hang internationally.
Each one of these paintings is in its own way a masterpiece for the artist. And the artists submitted those paintings on a regular basis to exhibitions because they knew they were good pictures.
Yeah, yes.
The more you look at each one of these paintings, the more they reward you.